Okay, so here we are looking at the John Deere 4960. Yeah, this is the infamous or famous 4960. If you're new to my channel or, not new to my channel, you will know that this tractor had burned back in 2011. And then in the winter of 2014, I decided that I would either part this thing out or burn it up and do whatever. Just get rid of it, part it out or scrap it or sell it for what it was worth, and or repair it, fix it up. Well, I opted to fix it up, repair the thing. I don't regret the repair of the tractor, but I spent a lot of time and a lot of money. I had $30,000 into this tractor when it was burned up. I put about 30 grand into it to get it up and running again, and I used it for, up until last year, 2017. In the spring, Timothy was hauling fertilizer buggies around with it until this problem that has arisen last spring. So here we are, 2018. The tractor has sat in this spot ever since last year, and it is now time to shit or get off the pot, as they say. It's time to get it split apart and find out where the issue lies. I actually do have the tractor in half right now, but I'm not going to jump the gun on it. I have talked to several people from John Deere and some other people around the world on the problems of this tractor, and I even had some paperwork sent to me from a nice fellow. I can't remember his name or whatnot, just that he was kind enough to mail me. I think I even have it here someplace close to me. But anyways, he mailed me the gear charts for this tractor, and each gear would give you the problem. If it would move in one gear, it would not be that gear or that clutch plate or that problem. So I looked at it and I thought, well, that's pretty cool. The only problem is I've only got like first, second, and third gear. When it goes to fourth gear, it stalls out the engine, and I have absolutely zero reverse. So what I was thinking was that it's the input planetary. And if you don't know, the input planetary on this tractor is on the front housing. There are let's see, is there three housings in this thing? Two housings on this thing. You have a clutch pack on the flywheel, which I believe has three different clutch packs in it. And I'm not sure if there's a planetary in there or not. I don't believe it. I think it's just different clutch packs in there. And there might be a planetary in it. I'd have to look a little closer. But anyways, I've never tore it apart, so I just don't know. But there is definitely that clutch is hydraulically driven, and there's pieces in there that work along with the 15-speed power shift. So you have that input planetary, and years ago when I first bought this tractor back in 2003, I bought it in the spring of 2003, and by the fall harvest of 2003, there was a really bad noise in the rear end of this tractor. It turns out that it was the input shaft into the ring gear, or in the final drive. The bearings had gone bad. Actually, a bolt had loosened up, and it cocked the bearing sideways and caused the bearings to wipe out, and that was the end of those. So it was either a $12,000 repair bill from John Deere, or I hunker down and rebuild it myself or fix it myself. So I did. I tore the cab off, took the rock shaft housing off, I took the power shift pack out, because that's the only way you can get to the planetary drive, to the final drives on this thing. Basically, I gutted the entire tractor, and I put it all back together in 7 days. From take it down to put it back together in 7 days, and that was back in 2004, January 2004, and it was cold. And honestly, other than the fire, I've had flawless operation of the tractor. So this past spring of 2017, if you remember back that far, if you're an older subscriber, you'll know that I put an interior kit in this tractor because it was pretty shitty. The tractor was, the cab that I have on the tractor was out of an older, it was out of a 55 series, so John Deere 55 series, and I think it came up from the south, but it had about 10 pounds of cigarette butts down in the shifting linkage. and a whole bunch of candy wrappers and miles and miles and miles and miles of dirt, and all the foam was garbage, and it was just a waste of time to think that I could actually live in that tractor. And I did for a year or so, until, well, a couple of years, ever since 2014. So we had 14, 15, and 16. So those 3 years, it was all shitty. So I decided I would freshen up the interior with a new foam kit, but that turned out to be garbage because the tractor broke. I mean, the interior kit's great, but the tractor broke down. So anyways, just enjoy the rest of the commentary here, because I am now signing off.
Okay, so I think we're focusing, right? All right, so we're starting the next project here on the list of projects to do. Tomorrow we'll have this tractor split in half, and we're going to see what we find on the input planetary. So I'm sure that's where the problem is. I had somebody who was so kind to send me a sheet of paper with the gear chart in it, and I'm pretty sure it's the first input planetary has grenaded, because it takes that in order to drive the rest of it. But anyways, Timothy is draining the oil and the fucking antifreeze.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got the oil and fucking antifreeze changed, or taken out of it, and yeah, we're pretty much, I'm gonna have to go buy a floor jack, my big floor jack that's over there. You see the handle of it right there? A few years ago, Cody was lifting the Western Star, and he destroyed it. So I have a small 2.5 ton one, but I think I can get I need a bigger one. That one's blown up and it doesn't work anymore, so I'm kind of screwed. So I'm either going to buy a new, smaller one, or I'm going to go borrow or buy a big one if I can. And we're going to go ahead and roll this thing apart tomorrow and see what happens. I am leaving, so I expect to have this tractor apart and back together before the 20th. Yes, and you know, it's just going to take that much time. So that's it. Joe is learning about family matters, like how we bootlegged alcohol here to pay for the farm back in the 30s. Bought it in 1925 and bootlegged alcohol in the 30s, pay for the farm. So yeah, anyway, I guess that's enough. I'm pretty tired and I got heartburn for some stupid reason. Maybe because I'm hungry and my stomach thinks my throat's been cut. But pretty simple job, I guess. It's not really that big of a deal. The hardest part is actually rolling the tractor apart, because we have to put it in neutral, and it takes like 3 people to do this. So I'll get Teresa over here, or Joe will be back tomorrow or something, and maybe we'll do it then. Right?
Tomorrow I have stuff to do.
Oh, well, too fucking bad now, isn't it?